think there's one thing you like about school. Just one. Gives you great inspiration for poetry. So you must like at least that part. Something that you can make fun of and it's allowed. But it's nice. You're making fun of a something and not a someone. And sometimes people, they forget about this making fun and being cruel and being separatist. Because separatists is what keeps us apart. And blessings and giving is what brings people together. And I just have a closing thought about Thanksgiving, because I like to tell stories. I'm also a storyteller as well as a poet. In 1990, my sons and I moved here from Arizona. I'd done a poem earlier that are current frequenters or frequent frequenters of this place had heard about the bad luck blessings that got us to Arizona. Well, there was a couple more of those kind of blessings in store, and we landed in Texas on my children's godparents' doorstep with their invitation, because things had gone so wrong. We were homeless. We had no place to go. We had no money. I did have a car. Well, I had a little money. Little money. Enough to get from Arizona to Texas, that was it. Start all over again from scratch from what it fit in a four-door car. It was pretty much over. So, and we started over. And we started over in a very, very lovely home. We each had a bed. We had 3 meals to eat. And we had lovely people who cared about us and loved us and graciously welcomed us and shared their home. And it was getting towards Thanksgiving time. We'd been there since September. And we were upon the Monday prior to Thanksgiving. And my kids and I, we were out shopping, trying to get ready for Christmas. I had a job, and so I had a little bit of wages to go and spread around and make birthdays and Christmas and Thanksgiving happen. And we saw another family that looked a lot like us. Tall, thin. At that time, I was very thin. Don't let this round physique fool you. There's a thin person in here. I was very tall and very thin. And here's this other woman, and she's very tall and very thin. There's a few age difference, maybe 15 years between her age and my age. She's a little bit my senior. And her children, of which there are 2 sons, just like us, 2 sons. 1 blonde, 1 redhead. 1 blonde, 1 redhead. Tall, thin, brunette mom. So there's a lot of similarities there, except for 15 years difference, and the fact that they were obviously homeless too. Really obviously homeless too. Had little store plastic bags storing their earthly goods. And my kids and I, we were starving when we got into this Bill Miller's wonderful barbecue place. It was my first introduction to Texas barbecue, excuse me. At the time, we thought it was wonderful. And we were starving. We bought the biggest combo plates each, and we were starving. And we were so hungry, and we had about 3 bites each, and we were sated, full, up to here, done eating. And I noticed this family going from table to table and picking up the leftovers and putting it on the clean side of the plate and eating it. And they were so hungry. And at that moment, I realized there was only one difference between that family and my family, and that was my children's godparents. And we had so much compared to them, and they had so little compared to us. So I went over quietly and said, I don't want to embarrass you or seem impertinent or rude in any way, but we've got too much to eat. Could we please invite you to dinner with us and share our food? And the boys' eyes lighted up. The adult men, boys' eyes lighted up, and they waited for their mother's reply. She says, thank you, ma'am. God bless you. That would be so kind. And they joined us, and they ate, and we shared stories, and we shared time, and we shared Thanksgiving on the Monday. Now, my boys were really excited, because here were guys that looked just like them, only a few years older, and so the blonde was talking to my blonde, Dean, and the redhead was talking to my redhead, Ross, and the mom and I were in quiet conversation between the 2 of us, and each one of these individuals reached into their own little private plastic bag of treasures. And the mother handed me a very worn out New Testament. And the one blonde boy, man, handed my boy like a Chuck E. Cheese type metal coin, good for one game someplace. And the other boy, the redhead, the man, he handed my son a silver dime, a real silver dime, no sandwich in there. They gave their greatest possessions to us. We who had so much, and they who had so little. And my sons are all excited, and they go, you got to come on down to our church. And the name of the church is the church of this, and it's over here on this street. And every Thanksgiving, we have a huge Thanksgiving meal, and you can come and have Thanksgiving with us again. It would be so much fun to see you. Please join us. So, you know what? I'm lying. It was the Saturday before, because then there was a Monday. Then there was a Sunday. So it was the Saturday before Thanksgiving, because the next day was Sunday, and my kids went to church, and I went to church, and they were so excited. They couldn't wait till the end of church to tell the priest, guess what? We found this really cool family, and they're just like us, only a little bit older. And we want them to come. We want them to come to Thanksgiving, and it's so exciting, and we can share with them because they have nothing. And look at our church, we have so much. And the priest goes, well, we just can't have any homeless people showing up there. I mean, what kind of message would that put out? And I was standing there in such shock. I was so shocked to hear a man of God, a man of the cloth, a man that spent years in seminary school learning what the Word of God meant. I guess not, maybe that wasn't taught. Because they didn't know how to share. Oh my God. I'm sure Jesus cried that day, because I don't think that that's what when he meant, give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses. And I'm so glad God forgives, because that was a huge one, my friend the priest. I hope you've learned since then. So as you go forward into Thanksgiving, remember that the only difference between you and that homeless people might be a paycheck. Thank you.
Lovely. That was so beautiful.
Oh, thank you.